Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Welcome in. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm going to get some things ready here. It's kind of a little dumpy brush, mix some washes, and we're going to get right to work on these Votann minis. All right. Jump on in. How's everybody doing? Chaos and Lead, welcome in. Misfit, welcome in. We're taking a thinned down sepia. We are placing it around this mini. We're not worrying about being too careful about where it goes. We're just trying to get into some of these recesses. Might switch over to a bigger brush in a little bit, but welcome in, everybody. How are you guys doing on this wonderful Wednesday? What primer do you airbrush with? So I am a big fan of either Vallejo surface primer or the Pro Acryl primer. What is it called? Yeah, just Pro Acryl primer. It's a very similar kind of surface primer. The Pro Acryl primer is really nice. It dries with a really nice matte finish, which is what you want for primer. Makes it super easy to paint over and everything. But it does take a lot longer to dry than the Vallejo primer. So it's something to keep in mind if you're wanting to airbrush like base layers after your primer. It's gonna be sitting for a few more minutes than it would with the Vallejo stuff. But with any primer, you want to wait, about 24 hours or so before you are actually like taking a brush to it and everything. Hey, Killer Streak, what's going on? How are you doing? Let me get a different brush for this wash. See if we can't get a little more surface area on here. It's a little better. It's just a 50-50 mix of what is this? Flow Improver and some sepia wash. That's all we're doing here. Yeah, you should be waiting 24 hours. You can, if you're gonna airbrush a base color, you can do that as soon as the primer kind of dries out. Because you're not like rubbing the primer off or anything, so that's normally okay. But yeah, just keep in mind, yeah, it takes a little longer to dry, but it does have really nice matte finish in all their primers, so I really like the Pro Acryl primers for that reason. I'm supposed to do this, but I mix golden so flat black paint with Vallejo surface primer. So you mix your paint with your primer? Interesting. Yeah. That's not something that I do. And I honestly have no idea if that's a thing or not. I've never heard of it, but typically when you're using a primer, the primer itself has a specific purpose. And that purpose is to allow other paint to bond, to the miniature, to sit, well in the miniature, so it doesn't just like rub off and everything. Yeah, primer is very much a like technical function and not like a color. It's not like a paint, and I think a lot of people view it as just another layer of paint, and that's really not what its function is. These guys. Just a diluted coat of sepia we got here. Black, so it's a nice matte black finish. Yeah, yeah. Nice, yeah. Citadel rattle can? Yeah, rattle cans, I do think when I have used the Citadel rattle cans, in general, I really liked how they work compared to other rattle cans. The problem is using spray primers in general, you're going to run into a lot of issues because it's a lot of like weather dependent, and um, there's so many ways for it to go wrong that I just don't care for using them unless it's like pieces of terrain and stuff like that. I'd rather just get the airbrush out. You know, I can airbrush any hour of the day and night that I want to. Any time of year, I don't have to worry about the weather. It ends up just being a lot easier, and I have a lot more control. It's not just you know, one mistake and your mini's ruined kind of thing. Do you make different color primers anyway? Don't you have to add color pigment? Yeah, I imagine you do. Yeah. And I don't know all the science behind primers. I know like their basic function and stuff, so I don't know if it's like, you know, here's a chemical formula that comes naturally in black, and here's a chemical formula that comes naturally in white. I have no idea if that's the case or not. But yeah, I imagine you add pigments. The real idea for the primers, though, as long as you're getting that chemical reaction that allows it to bond to the plastic, then it's good. So maybe that takes longer. Maybe it's, you know, maybe the reaction isn't as strong with certain colors, or yeah, I'm not sure, but I have a pretty limited range of primers that I use anyway. I have black, I have dark gray, I have dark brown, and I have light gray, and that's about it. So I don't care for you know, priming the mini in the color that I'm going to paint it. I don't think that's necessary or should be something that people look to do. So, you know, I'm going to paint this mini gold. I'm not going to prime the mini gold. Like, I don't need to do that. You put the gold paint on the mini after the primer. Yeah, man, we're getting right into the paint discussion today. I love it. Absolutely love it. As I officially made my first army list for Heresy 3.0. Goblin Green primer and stuff has to be their paint pigment. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I imagine, you know, companies put all kinds of pigments in them and stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's as simple as like, here is primer, it is clear or gray or whatever, and let's put pigment in it to make it what we want it to look like. I bet there's a lot more that goes into it. It's very complicated stuff, but yeah. What's up, Mydro? How you doing? A little bit of a late start today, but all right. Yep, that's why all those chemists get paid the big bucks, right? Here. So I made a list for what is potentially going to be my first Heresy game of the new edition, or third edition, on Saturday. And yeah, it is difficult. More to it. I just add black to mine. Yeah, that's fair. Hey, that's fine. Again, if you're getting that, you're able to get that chemical reaction. That's what matters. You know, as long as the primer is bonding to the surface, then you're good to go. You know, just give it enough time to dry and cure, and you know that 24-hour period. I think, and I don't think there's any problem. And if there was a problem, you know what? I don't care. It's not my place to like to judge people on how they prime their minis, you know. More than happy to offer advice and everything, but if your technique works, man, you just keep doing it. What's up, Zen? How you doing? Yeah, it's legit though. If you just like color your own primers by mixing them with paint, that's cool. Hey, Star Laser. Yep. Back to Votan for the time being. We're gonna finish up these minis this week. We'll see what I can get done. But we're getting all the washes on. This wash is going a lot faster than the black did, so good. We got a brown wash. We're gonna put on some stuff, and then we'll start getting our highlights and all these other random colors going. It'll be good. Be good. I have painted so many Votan after those 18 jet bikes, and you know they Votan have a bunch of minis coming out, and I'm just like I see it, and it's just my eye starts twitching. No, I imagine at some point in the future there's a really good chance I'll be painting the new Votan stuff. Just using a diluted sepia right now. 1-to-1 with some flow improver. Yes, so I had to go channel my inner like 2010 and before self, writing an army list out by hand, which was I'm sad to say a lot more difficult and annoying of an experience. Like, what do you mean I have to write words? What is this? Um, but I wrote out an army list, so I tried to just bring a bunch of stuff to try, like to test. So I was like, you know, we can test out all these different unit types. So I brought a bunch of different unit types, and you know, some things I don't think are going to be very good. Other things I think might be really good. So we're trying things out. I brought a super heavy tank, so that's cool. A Lord of War. Um, so we'll see how that works. Um, yeah, I did. Yeah. I'm gonna be playing a third edition game on Saturday. So yeah, looking forward to it. I took just a bunch of random stuff. It feels like I fit a ton of stuff in a 3,000 point list, but I don't know. It seems like maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the same amount. Maybe just writing it out made it seem like a lot more. Now I'm talking third edition Horus Heresy Chaos and Lead, not third edition 40k. So this is not old school 40k. I do have my third edition rulebook still from 40k, but I played a fifth edition game a couple months ago, and I plan on playing some more old editions, maybe fourth and fifth some more. But yeah, this was specifically I'm talking about new Horus Heresy stuff. My baby got my Thousand Suns, getting them on the table. Yeah, it's what's really cool. So, I was writing out this list, and yeah, Heresy is it's super cool. So something I had a lot of fun with was first of all, like the detachments. Um, I know some people have compared it to 40k list building, like you just take whatever you want. I imagine there's a way to basically get the units that you want if you have a plan in your head and saying like, man, I want like 3 dreadnoughts and I want this and I want that, and like I bet there's a way you can do that. However, with the detachments, um, you're sacrificing a lot if you decide that you want to bring, you know, like all the little like nuanced units that you want. There's a ton of sacrifice that happens in there. Um, Building the list, I felt like so I'd make a character. So I made like a master of signals. That's one of the characters I'm bringing, and with the master of signals, you pick a detachment. You can pick any detachment. I could pick a bunch of tanks. I could pick a bunch of whatever. I picked a support detachment. In my head, I said, "This is my master signals detachment. Like he is in charge of this detachment of Marines," and it's like, you know, there's I think there's only 2 squads in that detachment, but it's like he's kind of like the platoon leader, and this is like his designated command for the battle. And that like imagery in my head is really cool. You know, I have a centurion, and the centurion is in charge of like an armored contingent, and I have a librarian who's in charge of my prospering convocation, which is my Thousand Sons unique detachment. And like all that stuff just kind of like works really well in a thematic sense, and I really enjoy that. Another thing I thought was really fun, which is building a list, was messing around with the prime advantages. So some detachments, you'll get like a unit, maybe 2 units, that can select a prime advantage. And the prime advantages are free, they don't cost points, but you can pick basically like a bonus. And so I was picking, for my tactical squads, I was picking combat veterans, because combat veterans get a bunch of extra leadership. Like that's their bonus. And I think in previous editions of Warhammer, it wouldn't seem very good, but it's a huge bonus in Heresy, because Heresy plays a lot like a historical game where it's all about like suppression and you know, like inflicting statuses on units that revolve around leadership stats, and also being a Thousand Son, having the extra willpower stat helps me cast psychic abilities, um, and like further like plays into my army. And it also sounds really thematic when you have a bunch of these combat veterans, because it's like, you know, my army surviving Prospero, like the dudes that live through Prospero are like the veterans, you know, and they're leaning into Zinch, and that means that they're, you know, working more into their psychic powers. And like just the thematic, the amount of like theme in building an army in that sense is so cool. I was so pumped up to like play a game after I wrote this army list. It took me like an hour to write this thing out. It was I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys my my frantic scribbles here in a minute. Yeah, Sir Stroming Fish, what's going on? How are you doing? Yeah, I'm really excited to play though. I'm excited to try some things out. I did something cool. I took a librarian console, because you know Thousand Sons gotta bring a librarian. Um, I brought a librarian, and I gave him a prime advantage called Paragon of Battle, which basically means like he is the duelist. So I turned my librarian into a dueling character, which is really neat to me, like a really cool way of customizing characters. And you could do that with like any of the consoles or Centurion or whatever. You can just mess around with how they play the game like that. It's really cool. It's like, man, I want to take a champion. Champion's cool. It has like unique detachment and stuff, but I could get the unique detachment stuff and other things. And I was like, why don't I make my own champion with a librarian? That's what I did. So very cool stuff. So yeah, overall, really excited to play. So we're gonna test some things. I don't know what's gonna be good, what isn't. We don't know. We neither of us have played a game before, so we're just kind of figuring out the rules and seeing if something in particular seems really good, too good, not good, all that. I took a bunch of tanks. Yeah, I'm bringing my Typhon siege tank for the first time. I've never put that thing on the table, so. And I'm wondering if like how the community is going to evolve over the game. If it's going to be like, our Primarchs toned down enough to where you don't, it's not where you need your opponent's permission before you bring one, or like super heavies in general. But the super heavies, Lords of War, seem stronger than they were in 2.0. But I don't know if like the game is just in a place where it's just cool to bring what you want if you want to bring that stuff or not. Like I don't know. It's exciting to get to figuring that out. Hey Joe, what's going on? Happy to have you lurking. I hope you're having a great day. Hope the weather in Minnesota is really nice. Something I've been doing, guys. I started doing this in like the spring, and I didn't do it in the summer. It was too hot to do in the summer, so I just started doing it again this week. But I'll wake up and I'll make myself like a coffee drink or something, and I'll go sit on my back porch and just like sit out and just chill. I'll just like read on my phone or something, but like sit, get some fresh air first thing in the morning is really nice and quiet. Not too hot or anything yet, so something I've been doing. Been nice. Not like I have a good view or anything. I live in a suburban neighborhood, but Primarchs don't appeal to you personally. Hey, that's fine. Yeah. I definitely would not bring a Primarch every game, but it'd be fun to try and not feel like I'm handicapping myself bringing Magnus. Or I can just feel like I'm handicapping myself and then just roll amazing and just kill the other Primarch. As you do. Breathe in the Canadian wildfire smoke. Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. I'm sure that's going to make its way down to us. It has been the past few years, so I'm all the way in Ohio, and we get crazy air quality warnings and, like, just a nasty haze over the sky. Continue with this here in a minute. I clean this brush really well after stream. So yeah, overall, I'm excited to play now. Excited to get all these minis I have painted. 4. After these 6, we just have the 10 warriors to paint. So what's everybody up to today? Everybody having a good day? It is Wednesday. I do plan on still doing the Patreon hangout tonight. We'll do that. I'll continue painting Votann tonight while we're all chilling. To be good. And I'm sure we'll find some fun stuff to talk about. Painting wife is back in her classroom today, getting set up and doing work to prepare everything, and painting son is with her. I think since I used Flow Improver to thin this wash down, it's going to dry a little glossy. That's fine. So I typically use a matte varnish on these minis at the end. The gloss doesn't matter. It's just annoying to paint, and it doesn't look great while you're painting them. That's the only difference. Has anyone here seen the new Fantastic Four movie? If you did, what'd you think about it? I didn't really have any interest, but I don't know. It looks pretty good. Saw the trailer and that was enough? Okay. So it was just okay. Alright. Still want to see it. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. We were thinking of going to see a movie as a family, and I gave the Painting Son. We gave the Painting Son the choice: go see the new Fantastic Four movie, or we can see Jurassic World Rebirth, and he wants to see Jurassic World, so that's fair. I think he's marveled out. I think the kid watched, he watched the whole like Infinity Saga, and he's like, all right, that's enough. So, which is fine with me. But I think we're just gonna rent Jurassic World. I saw it's out for rent and everything, so we'll just do movie night at home. Because that's cheaper and easier. And I don't have to worry about people or driving anywhere or paying $20 for popcorn or whatever. Like, that's... The horror movie Weapons on Saturday? Oh, cool. All right. Nice. I've seen like a part of a trailer for that movie. That's about it. Isn't there a remake for, is it like I Know What You Did Last Summer or something? Isn't that a thing that's coming out? I thought I saw something about that. Big movies. It's like two ones, yeah. I think Hollywood overall is it's like oversaturated, right? Like it's like this with GW, where there's like no time to build up hype for anything, because it's just thing after thing coming out. And it's just like, oh cool, another movie, and then it's like in a month I can just stream it anyway, so what's the point? It's not many big actors under 50 years old. That's true. I don't know if that's a reason that movies aren't doing well, but yeah. I mean, I know for decades people have been like, Hollywood's out of ideas. There's no original ideas, and like that's fine. I feel like that's still continuing. But I remember back when, so okay, early 2000s, I'm a kid, and we'll say like 2002, I go to see Lord of the Rings in a movie theater. Wasn't a dollar theater, it was a full movie theater, and I went at the end of March and watched Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. Lord of the Rings came out in December, and it was still playing in full movie theaters in March. That's crazy. That's insane. It didn't come out in it didn't come out on like video to watch at home until I think like August after that. So it's just like and there was like a lot of time, and I know it's the churn of making money and all that stuff, but like me knowing that a movie is going to be streaming in a month after it comes out in theaters, I don't really have motivation to go see things in a movie theater. You know, like I think my interest of seeing things in a theater are pretty much limited to like Godzilla movies and I don't know, maybe the next Star Wars movie that comes out. And that might be about it. What? That's such a weird take. That sounds like a Twitter take, Zen. Is that a Twitter take? Yes, it is. Get off Twitter, dude. Stop. Twitter is like, it's like 99% bots, and then there's like Zendro, just like reading all the bots' comments. That's what he's doing. He's like, I'm having a conversation with someone, and it's just a bot. It's just like a Russian government employee. It's like, where are you from? I'm from Texas Oblast. I live near the warm water port of, I don't know, whatever, wherever there's a port in Texas. Yeah, Utini, what's up, man? I cannot disagree with anything you're saying. Galveston, there you go. Yeah, the warm water port of Galveston in the Texas Oblast. Okay, get that color down. Let's get out a brown wash, and I think we're gonna do some army painter here. Let's do strong tone. Good actors can really carry a movie. Yeah, I agree with that. What's a really bad movie that was carried by a good actor? Any good examples? Tiptoe, starring Gary Oldman. Oh man, he's just on his knees the whole time. I did like a little person. No, I'm not talking about potentially good movies ruined by an actor. I'm talking about bad movies carried by a good actor. I don't trust the opinion of anyone who says Nick Cage is a good actor. Long legs? Every single Jim Carrey movie? That's probably closer to correct though. Most of the Adam Sandler movies. You know, what movie really sticks with me? Just this like one line in a movie, and for some reason it just bothers me to no end. Like I can't get this out of my head, and it's the Transformer movie. I don't remember which Transformer movie. It was one of the Transformer movies, the one with Mark Wahlberg in it, where he says multiple times through the movie, the line he says, "I'm an inventor," and like I don't understand how someone read that in the script and they're like, yeah, it's a good line. Like I'm just gonna follow the script here. Or he just says I'm an inventor. Like he's just like arguing with people and he's like, it's not what I do, I'm an inventor. And I don't know why, but that just stuck with me in the worst way. Speaking of Adam Sandler, I did hear that Happy Gilmore 2 was pretty good. I mean, it's explain the legality of data. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It just is this the director just like projecting? It's like Quentin Tarantino stuff, right? But it's what's his face? Michael Bay. Like an 8 out of 10. Wow, okay. Yeah, it's stupid comedy. Yeah, I mean it always was, right? Because we're gonna get brown wash on all of the bronze. This mini, it's just gonna pull out all the detail, all these bronze pieces. This light bronze. Yeah, comparatively good. Well, that's fine. That's good enough for me. My family did just finish Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers last night. I decided a couple weeks ago I wanted to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy again. Um, and so the whole family joins me in that. Yeah, yeah, it's the best trilogy. Yeah, I watch that trilogy at least once a year. At least I think this is my second time watching it this year, actually. So um, I don't know. I was just like, man, I don't have anything I want to watch. Guess I'll watch Lord of the Rings. And we're slowly making our way through it, but we're doing it.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your
Deus Ex Macchiato. Welcome in. Thanks for the follow. That's an incredible name. How are you doing? You in the hobby, Deus Ex Macchiato? That's so perfect. Paint minis, play Warhammer, anything like that? Did the 4 drones. Let's get the next couple things. Get this commander here. This is a commission. Yeah, these aren't mine. I have painted a lot of Votann for commission, but I don't own any Votann. Actually true, did Nick Cage make 5 million movies because he had a horrible life? I did hear he had like he was like bankrupt a bunch, so he was like making movies to like stay afloat basically. A few Votann for Secret Santa. Oh, that's cool. Okay. The movie Pig. Never heard of the movie Pig. There's one thing I don't care for though, it's Nick Cage. So serious character? Oh, weird. Yeah, one thing to keep in mind if you're gonna start painting Votann is all these minis are way over detailed. They're all over detailed. There's no like quick way of painting most of these minis. It's just you're gonna be doing just a ton of brushwork on them, no matter what. And to me, it's a little too tedious. I like to be able to look at a mini. I like to be able to paint a mini and have like set a plan and be like, all right, this is my efficient way of painting this mini. Here's how I'm going to go about it. And you just can't do that with Votann. Colors are mostly too evenly spread out between, you know, multiple colors, and it's a whole thing. The Jaeger's Kill Team, yeah. So yeah, just be prepared to spend a lot more time than you really want to painting these minis. What? Bronze on these at all, is there? Oh, okay, that's cool. Very cool. Set these to the side. This one. Wizards. I play a lot of games and have a lot of armies for a lot of different games. I haven't been playing 40k as much recently. Who's Dad's favorite actor, or do you not have one? I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite actor. I think there are definitely actors like when I see a movie or like see a trailer for a movie that I'll see and I'll be like, man, that's cool. Like excited he's in that. Like Carl Urban is one. I think Carl Urban's a great actor. You know, not that I'm biased toward Éomer or anything, but I don't think I've ever seen a role that Carl Urban's been in that I haven't enjoyed. So yeah, that's a good one. Liam Neeson's another good one. Which I'm actually like, I want to see The Naked Gun. I don't think I would have any interest in it, but it looks funny, and that's a good one. Hey Alex, welcome back. Joining us on YouTube. How you doing? Wash really pulls out a lot of the detail out on these, which is what I want. Anybody painting anything good right now? Guys got any good hobby projects going on? Orlando Bloom was Legolas first time. Really? I didn't know. You know, I was 11 years old when that movie came out, so I didn't know any actor's name. But Orlando Bloom was probably the first name I memorized because I thought Legolas was the coolest dude. First couple times watching those movies. Like, oh yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, like he's in that. And so it was like, I was excited to watch Pirates of the Caribbean because like Legolas is in the movie. Next wizard. Paint your Tartarus. Nice. I'm excited to get some Tartarus Terminators. But I think I'm kind of waiting for the updated set to come out. And I have a prediction, Misfit. A prediction about the Terminators. You're ready for this. I have not heard anyone mention this, so I'm going to say it. I think they're going to release the Cataphractii and Tartarus Terminators in a similar time frame. I don't know, they might not, but I think one of the things they'll do is they're going to have a shareable weapon sprue. So there's going to be like a weapon sprue, like a melee weapon sprue and everything, and I think it's going to be shareable between the two kits. I think that's what they're going to do. Which might be nice if you're buying GW Plastics. Maybe you can just buy a weapon sprue. Like the special weapons they do and everything. Like, I just want a bunch of, Reaper autocannons for the Tartarus Siege Terminators, and you can just buy the like the heavy weapon sprue or whatever. World Eaters will get their own kits eventually. Yeah, don't worry about that. That's happening. Maybe a little aggressive to predict Legion specific kits come out before the end of the year, like start coming out, but I think it's going to be very soon. I think they're going to start putting out Legion specific plastics. And I hope it's like at least like 3 kits per Legion. That maybe seems like a little bit much. It might just be 1 or 2 kits, but yeah, I'm thinking 3 kits would be good. With just a ton of bits in there to customize stuff. I'd pretty much restart my Thousand Suns at that point. They did that. Yeah. I think it would be like if everything went as I wanted it to go, it would be a unique Terminator kit that just comes with tons of extra like pieces and icons and little like greebles to give the minis, so you can spread it out among like your normal minis. A unique power armor set that also does the same thing, and then a character with again a bunch of pieces. So I think that would kind of cover all the bases in a way. And it'd be a little more difficult for armies like White Scars and stuff, but GW just forgets about White Scars. They don't care about White Scars at all, so and give them the same treatment. Yeah. There's a dude in our local Discord who has, like, I guess you can consider it a White Scars army, but he is just, like, furious at all the rules all the time. Because his White Scars aren't, like... there's, like, a unit that's, like, not amazing, and he's like, this is the end of all things. Yeah, they are. I do agree. But, if White Scars get, like, a cool power armored unit with a bunch of bits, like, they could always add, put that on, like, bike troops and stuff, like, on their jet bike troops. So, it's not, like, the end of the world for them to, let them just, and they do have unique infantry and Terminators and stuff, so it's not like it's not lore accurate to give them those units. I think the only Legion without Legion specific Terminators are Word Bearers. I think everybody else has a power armored unit and a Terminator unit. But yeah, I think that's the way to go. I think those 3 kits, we're talking Thousand Suns because I'm always going to talk Thousand Suns. We do you do Kinatai blades as their power armor unit, which gives you a ton of like cool power swords and stuff in there. Um, you do the Sekhmet Terminators as their Terminator unit, and then yeah, and you do like a librarian type character, or the Prospering Sorcerer, which is like their unique console now. So what you do? Boom, you got your 3 kits, and hopefully a bunch of bits for to use. Yeah, I love that too. Yeah, I 3D print a lot of like my bits and stuff, but there's something having all that in plastic. Just makes it so much nicer. Yeah, what is it? Red Butchers and Rampagers are the World Eaters units. Give them their cool like gladiatorial weapons, and you can distribute those among different troops. Like that's all a really cool idea. Okay, those guys don't have anything, so this many. Basing sticker sheet of Cork stickers. 50 cents for 40 stickers. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you just stick them on the base and you're good. That's really cool. 15 packs, yeah. Yes, you're definitely adding like a whole bunch of variety in there. That's really neat. Interesting. This is quite strong. Yeah, you still gluing them even after you put the adhesive on. I would still glue them personally, but if you're covering them with like basing material and stuff, it's probably not that big of a deal. Nice. That's really cool though. That's a cool find. I used to go to like craft stores a lot and just look for like the random things I could use for minis. I don't really do that anymore. Still do. Nice. Some balsa, that's cool. Yeah, I don't do a lot of like big like basing, and I haven't like made terrain in quite a long time, so still drying a little bit. The brown wash is drying. We got all the brown wash on though. I'm gonna be right back in just a second, guys. Okay. Okay. Foliage. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, yeah. That's a really cool way of doing that. I used to buy those. There was like the cast resin terrain, like way back when. Like people don't sell terrain like this anymore, but I'd get like hedgerows and stuff that people would make because yeah, Warhammer Fantasy. You'd use that kind of terrain a bunch. Yeah, I would buy them at my local store. Because we were always like, man, we need terrain, but we never wanted to spend money on terrain. And so we'd find some cheaper stuff. Those are really heavy, like cast resin. Yeah, using the silicone molds, though, is something I never got into, but seemed like it would be always seemed really useful. Yeah, that's really cool though for the that's a good idea with the clump foliage doing the making like hedgerows out of them with just wood glue. Solid idea. Put that on. I need a little more here. Proper dwarven gardening. Nice. I love it. Ice cube mold for wash paints? Oh, just to like put stuff in? Yeah, okay. Interesting. That's interesting. Yes, they don't like spill. You can like hold a bunch in there, right? Especially if you're mixing your own washes. That's a cool idea. Yeah, you just flip them inside out and it probably gets out all the dry paint. Okay. Get this guy's base. Just doing just a quick wash on some of this rock. I don't think I'm going to paint much of these rocks because again, I'm not doing the basing here, but get just an idea of what's happening. Okay. Well, that's drying. I can show you guys this. Avert your eyes if you think it's going to blind you because it's just white paper. But this is me writing out my first army list. Like handwritten for the first time in I don't know how long. But look, it just fills up the whole page. That's my army list. I had to actually, like, I added in a whole other detachment right here, but I separated out the detachments with just like marked them. So I got like my Crusade detachment, and then the Apex, and then I got the Prospering Convocation, Armored Support, got my Lord of War over there, and then Tactical Support at the bottom. But yeah, got some good stuff. That's the list, though. All right. We need to wait a few minutes for this brown wash to dry. And then we're going to do some dry brushes. Really detailed, like kind of fine dry brushes. That's what we're going to do. In the meantime, though, sure what else we're going to do. Guys drying up dry. They're still not quite there. This is not my Votann army. No, this is a commission. Yeah, the dry brush over the bone is definitely priority. First priority, because then we can clean up after that. Be streaming tomorrow. I think we're gonna finish this army. I wanted to continue work, and I have this mini right here. I wanted to continue work on the Shugengan Lord here, but I have to finish this army before I get to this. But this is gonna be sent to somebody as a giveaway, so we will get there, but just not yet. But man, all this mini is so cool. We got to work on the orange. That's what we have to work on. Like all the orange under there, and the base, the claws, eyes, gems. Maybe about it. Looking really good overall, though. So cool. So cool. We'll set you back in your corner, though, to wait. Excuse me. Get some water here. Painting wife is bringing home lunch, so I probably will take a break and eat when she gets home in a little bit. Yeah, I think purple is a good color on this. Said some of these, the character minis, we're going to do a lot of extra on them. The other ones, we're going to do some basics, but that's about it. But we're going to go through everything one pass at a time. So we'll start with like the dry brush of our bone on everything. And then we'll take another color and we'll go through some of these character minis and we'll do just like an extra highlight on top of that. Then we'll pick our next color and we'll go through, and we'll just do that with all of it. Hey Zen, are you still in stream? If you're not, that's okay. Just go cry into the corner. We'll eventually get to drilling out all the barrels and everything. We'll do that toward the end, though. No particular rush. Coming together, though. The washes are looking good on them. There's they're definitely looking like painted miniatures at this point, so I'm happy about that. See if we got a good brush. A good dry brush. Yeah, I think those two, and then a somewhat bigger one might all be pretty good. Let's try this. We'll get some bone, some Pearl bone. With our color. See if that's the color we want to use here. Yeah, they do have a bone color. Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, Pearl Curl has... They have 15 different ivory colors. That all look very similar. So, okay, that's not enough to it. Let's... Yeah, that's what these guys were base coated in. They were base coated in bone. I put that sepia wash. And now we're just trying to put this... carefully but not carefully put this bone back on top of everything using some old brushes. Yeah, is the bone? Hold on. Yeah, the bone's a signature. It's a Matt Sequish signature paint. Yeah, I have like 5 good like local hobby stores near me. 4 of them are always out of like the popular colors of Pro Acryl, so if there's something that like, you know, you run out of quick or you typically need, they're out. The other one always has everything in stock. So I don't know if they're just, I think they're just better at ordering things, or they order from more sources, or you know, but they stay on top of it a lot better. Okay. Compare these two really quick. Probably can't see it on camera. There is a slight difference. Yeah, that's enough for me. It's looking good. Dark plum, yeah. Oh man, dark plum's such a good color. It's so good. Try something. Let's do a little crazy. Hey, Greenleaf, what's going on? No. Yeah, we could cheat a little bit here. Sounds like the rest of the painting family is home. I believe I'm going to go take a break here in a minute, and that's good because then I can really make sure these colors dry. I'll be back in about five minutes, guys, or so. 12 bots. You're insane, Greenleaf. Absolutely insane. I'm super jealous. You know, grass is greener on the other side and such. But yeah. All right. I'll be back in just a couple minutes, guys, and we're continuing on with this bone color. So bear with me. All right, I'm back. So, let's get back into this dry brushing here. Yeah, Greenleaf, which bots did you paint? What were the 12 bots? Painting wife came home with lunch. And so ate a quick lunch. The claw boss, the Ursarax, right? Is that what they are? Aspen G didn't come up with these nonsense names, so I can't keep up. That's fair. Yeah, don't ask me the names of these Votan minis, because I have no clue. Stubby Guy 1, Santa, and Moon Rover. Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah, that's what we got. Stubby Guy 1 through 16 here. I am pretty happy for Votann players that they're getting an actual named character. I think that's really cool. And he's like the guy just like reenacting Moby Dick, right? He's just like Ishmael. Isn't that like the premise for the guy? Just keeps telling people Tyranid swallowed him. They're like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you back to bed, basically. Like, that's what I see from that guy. So Greenleaf, how many of your own minis do you paint? do you play the games and paint your own minis and everything, or are you pretty much just like, I spend every waking moment painting stuff for mini wargaming, so I don't have time to do my own? How's that work? Excuse me. You hardly play, yeah. You just don't have the time, or you just you're just burn out, like you just burn yourself out painting everything, or what? Play Old World with Steve. Dude, are you gonna play on their you gonna play on his channel? I imagine you pretty much have free claim to any army that he has, right? When you guys play, so it's not like you would need to bring your own army, because I think he owns every army for the game. That'd be cool. What army do you have that you painted? Which is totally fair. That's, yeah. Half an Ogre Kingdoms army? That's awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's cool. Bretonnians assembled, nice. Bretonnians have always been like a dream army to have, but I know like painting them would be really fun but really slow. So it's always that idea of like, is this just going to be a miserable grind? So sometimes I feel like I can't take much time on my stuff. Gotta keep things moving. Bretonnians definitely slow that down. Yeah, both are really cool. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. I'm normally a big fan of how like the GW Studio paints like the basic army, like the the standard army color schemes, and I really like the blue, red, yellow theme on like the classic Bretonnians, but the Crusade theme looks really good too. So yeah, just like white with like red, the red crosses or like the red symbols and stuff that's awesome looking. White desert base and such. Yeah, it's great. That's really cool. So, okay, question about your ogres. Are your ogres painted with like more Caucasian skin, or did you give them like the old gray skin that they did when the ogres first came out as their own army? I'm personally a huge fan of the old style, like the gray skin that they gave them. It makes them look like otherworldly and stuff. Right, boys. Tattoos of red arms. Okay, okay. I also get some like tribal stuff going on. That's cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of like when they came out with that book and they gave them like weird skin colors, and I thought it was really cool. Slayer skin, no wash, you work up. Dang. Those minis show a lot of skin too. Like that's a long process. Okay. Simple dry brush on that. Done. That makes sense, yeah. It's kind of the most important part of those minis, right? Red arm skin highlight too, yeah. That sounds cool. I love old world armies. Um, I think that I could collect and play any old world army and be more than happy with it. I don't think there's any of them that would have a problem. If I were like forced to choose one, I'd be happy with all of it. Extra grots on the move trays. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. They're on round or magnet bases. Oh, okay. So you can use them Age of Sigmar. I wouldn't bother with that. I have a Vampire Counts army, and it's basically just exclusively using Age of Sigmar minis, and I glued them all on square bases. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so you have like the gaps in between their bases. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. Gives you a lot of opportunity. Yeah, to add a lot of cool things on the bases. Yeah. Make a dwarf expeditionary force to a gyrocopter down scenario. That's awesome. What army would he play if you were to do that? Okay. It's fair. I think goblins are appropriate. Some kind of goblin army, but that's just me. Dwarves tend to have grudges against everybody, so it's not like it would be out of theme. Yeah, just to remind you, we are doing our Patreon hangout tonight. So anybody who's a member of the Patreon, as little as just $1, we'll get you access. Just got to link your Discord username to your Patreon account, and yeah, come hang out with us. Discord tonight. We just do it's like a hobby hangout. So we just chill in a Discord chat, and we all just kind of talk and we goof around and all that for 2-3 hours or so every week. Oh, it is a good time. My wife brought me Raising Cane's for lunch, guys. You know, anything about Raising Cane's, you know, you can't just let that sit. I had to take a break and go eat. It was amazing. Haven't had Raising Cane's in quite some time. That was really good. I think red might be our next color. Excuse me. I think after this color, it's all just a bunch of detail work. It's good. Means we're getting close to finishing everything. I have to come up with a giveaway mini this month still. I think I have a potential mini that I'm going to give away. We'll see. I'll have to take a closer look at it and see if it's something I feel like is worth doing. It may or may not be a Finecast, classic Finecast. Orican? Yeah, no, it's not Orican. That's a cool mini though. But no. Wait, no, he got a new mini, didn't he? His old one was probably really bad. The mini I have is Xenos. These guys. Excuse me. All right, we will some of this color over to the main characters here. Fancy stuff, yeah. Alright, upper body's done. Just do one leg at a time. And other leg. Okay, I think that's it for reapplying that layer. Let's get 2 wizards. Okay. So we're gonna get out. We're gonna try ivory. That's gonna be our color. Brighter highlight. Try to go around edges here. Poor guy just has so much going on with this armor plating. It'll look good. That's what we're doing. Taking the extra time on the characters. Frieza was a Votan? Is Frieza is that Dragon Ball Z? I don't know. Sorry, I don't get the reference. What's up, Culture American? How you doing? Yeah, okay. What about this Votan would be like Frieza? So you have to explain your joke now. I hope you're happy. The white with the purple spot plating? Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, this person already had 2 of these characters. This one's like the commemorative one, so it's not like exactly the same, but the hammer and shield character. And one already used orange, one used red. It was like a deeper orange and a deeper red. So I figured purple would be like the natural color to help this mini stand out. It says dark plum is that base color I have right there. The highlights are quite subtle, though, especially if you're looking just through the camera lens. Super tedious getting all these armor plates. My out here, should I zoom in some? What's that? Just about done with this guy. Do the 2 wizards, and I think we might call it for the day there. Way off frame. Oh, sorry. Okay, there we go. And hold my hand, like rest my wrist in the same position. Apparently, it those slides. Okay. Excuse me. Got some highlights on that guy. Let's get the wizards. Painting Son got some Where's Waldo books from the library. He's never seen a Where's Waldo book. So I'm excited to go look at a Where's Waldo book with him. I haven't built one of those in years. Yeah, exactly. I know, yeah. This is a library where he got these ones. Stop that hair a little bit. It's okay. We'll be back on that hair later. We have these books that him and I really like, and they're called Magnified, and they are history books, and they teach you about different like cultures or things through history. But it's like it'll give you like 10 or 12 things on each page to find, and then it like tells you about, and each page is like a different like subject about that culture. So we did one about like castles. It would talk about like like daily living in castles and those kind of things, and it was very much focused on like medieval England as far as the culture goes and stuff. But it would talk about, it was basically like a medieval history book with Where's Waldo like pictures, and you would find these different things happening, and they would explain another aspect of what was going on. And we just started, let's see, we have done Romans, castles, and pirates. And we just started on Egypt Magnified. And he just loves those books, which I can see. I love those kind of books when I was a kid too. But yeah, Painting White, I thought it'd be cool to give him a Where's Waldo book and see if he likes it, which is similar, but you know, not quite as educational. Well, guys, we got that color. We did a couple washes. We did some highlights, so that's good. I think tomorrow, and well, tonight during the hangout, I'm going to try to work on these more, and tomorrow I think I'm going to try to finish them up. So that will be the goal. But all that said, thank you guys for coming to hang out with me today. I appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully I get to see you guys tomorrow, and we can chat, and we have more new fun things to talk about, and we can I can just have a good time hanging out and hobbying tomorrow. But until then, you guys have a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful evening, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.